This is now part 2 of your basic anatomy on the neurologic system, and I will also include in this discussion your spinal cord injury. So for this part, let's review first briefly on what was discussed in the first part. Remember that the neurologic system is divided into two basic divisions. You have the CNS, or the central nervous system, and the PNS, or the peripheral nervous system. The CNS are comprised of the brain and as well as your spinal cord. And we are done discussing this portion of the nervous system. Now let's go into the peripheral nervous system. Remember that the peripheral nervous system is comprised of two different organs. You have the cranial nerves and the spinal nerves. There are 12 cranial nerves and there are 31 pairs of spinal nerves. So your spinal nerves are comprised of different parts. You have your cervical spinal nerve, you have your thoracic, lumbar, sacral, and coccygeal. So there are 5 parts of the spinal nerves. And if you total all of these spinal nerves, you would get 31 pairs. So pila man kabuok ang imuhang cervical? You have 8 cervical. Thoracic, you have 12. Lumbar, you have 5. Sacral, you also have 5. And you have 1 coccygeal. So, unsaon man na sir, para di mi makalimot kung pila na sila kabuok. So, remember, you take your breakfast at 8. You take your lunch at 12 noon. Yeah, you take your dinner at 5. Okay, so 8, 12, 5. So, kung makalimot pag yun ka, remember letter T. It starts with letter T, 12. Letter L, lumbar, L, 5. Okay? Sacral, SS, 5. So, that's easy to memorize, no? You have 8, 12, 5, 5, and 1. Okay? As to the cranial nerves, you have 12 cranial nerves. And it's important that you memorize these cranial nerves. You remember siguro class nga you have mastered this topic when you were in first year during your anatomy and during your health assessment classes. Because of course, sa inyong return demonstration, gipa-performan mo og assessment of the different cranial nerves. So let's review on what these different cranial nerves are. So you have your olfactory, okay? You have your optic nerve, oculomotor, trochlear, trigeminal, okay, trigeminal, abducens, facial, acoustic, glossopharyngeal, vagus, accessory, and your hypoglossal. So these are your 12 cranial nerves, no? So how did you remember this? No? You had your mnemonics before. So you say O, 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 to touch and feel a girl's vagina and hymen. O syaro makalimot pa mo ana. Okay? O, 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 to touch and feel a girl's vagina and hymen. So do not forget that, no? But that will not be the question in the exam. Ang akong ipangutana is kung unsa ang functions ani nga cranial nerve. Okay? So how do we memorize that? So let me just add a column there. So a function of a cranial nerve is either sensory, motor, or both. Okay? So kung saan man na nato pag-memorize. So remember, you have here, some said many money, but my brother said bad business, more money. There you have it. So, O, to touch and feel a girl's vagina. Some said many money, but my brother said bad business, more money. So those that begins with letter S are sensory in functions. And those that begins with letter M are motor in function. Those that begins with letter B are both sensory and motor. So how do we assess our patients for these different functions? Okay, let's begin with olfactory nerve. So unsay function sa olfactory nerve, di ba? S, meaning sensory. So what sense are we testing for olfactory? So we test it for sense of smell. Okay? So how do we do that? We simply ask our patient to close his eyes and then we prepare two different cottons with two different scents. Say, for example, what could smell vanilla and the other could smell coffee. So ingnon ni mong patient, ma'am, can you close your eyes? And then I will be putting something in front of your nose and tell me what scent is it that you could smell. O, kani ma'am, unsa man ni ma'am? Siya, coffee. Okay, very good. Kani ma'am, unsa man ni siya ma'am? Vanilla. So how do you document that? Patient's olfactory nerve is intact for being able to discriminate between two different scents. One is vanilla and one is coffee. So that's flat to one if you document that way. Okay? So for olfactory, that's the sense of smell. How about your optic? Optic is for the sense of sight. So if you have your Snellen's chart, you simply ask your patient to read, no, that letter that falls under number that letter, no, that falls under 2020. Okay, so og moingon ka, for example, the vision is 20/80. What does it mean? So it means ang kanang numerator class, ang pasabot anang ibabaw is the patient. Ang kanang naa sa ubos is the normal person. Meaning, kung 20/80 ang iyahang vision, it means that the patient can see at 20 feet distance, no, what a normal person can see at 80 feet. Okay? So meaning makakita ang pasyente at 20 feet distance what a normal person can see at 80 feet. Remember, your normal vision is 20/20. So what does it mean to say 20/20? Ang pasyente makakita at 20 feet what normal people can see at 20 feet. Okay? So let's say, for example, 40/60. What does it mean? The patient can, let's say, 40/20 kana. The patient can see at 40 feet distance what normal people can see at 20 feet. So ang imo lang timanan na class is ang ibabaw represents the vision of the patient, ang ubos represents the vision of the normal person. So tanawa ning 20/80. Meaning to say, kung ako normal person, 20/80, no? 20 ang patient, 80 ang normal. Kung ako ang normal, I can stand 80 feet away and I can see letter E, for example. So pwede ko sa 80 feet niya, makita na kung letter E. Pero ang imong pasyente, kung ibutang ni mong 80 feet, di siya makakita. Kinahanglan pa siya moduol up to 20 feet before niya makita ang letter E, for example. Okay? So, that is how you test your sense of sight. Or simply, kung wala mo Snellen's chart, you can simply ask the patient, can you read the name on my nameplate? Yeah, makabasa siya. So how would you document that? You say, the patient's optic nerve is intact because the patient can see at 2 feet distance. Okay? Because simply, class, ang imong olfactory, kung makasimhot ba. Ang imong optic is kung makakita ba. Okay? So olfactory, optic nerve. Now, we go to oculomotor. Then your trochlear, okay, your trochlear and your abducens. So naa kay tulo that could be clustered all together, meaning cranial nerve 3, cranial nerve 4, and cranial nerve 6. Kaning tulo ka mga cranial nerves class, you assess them all together. And if you look at their functions are purely motor. So, unsa may atong tan-awon sa oculomotor, trochlear, and abducens on the aspect of motor? Simply, you ask or you test the patient whether the eyes can move in different directions. And number 2, whether the pupils have the motor capacity to adapt to external stimuli. Okay. So meaning to say, To assess the motor aspect of oculomotor, trochlear, and abducens, a nurse has two tests to make. Number one, you do your cardinal gaze, your 6 fields of cardinal gaze. Number two, you do your perla. Okay? So sa cardinal gaze, to illustrate, you simply let the patient, ma'am, follow the tip of my pen light without having to turn it on, ha? Ma'am, you follow the tip of my pen light and then you follow it with just your eyes and you don't have to move your head. Okay, so everyone, please try to look at the tip of my pen and follow through without moving your head, just your eyes. 6, cardinal gaze. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Unsa may atong tanawon? It's not just the ability of the patient to follow its eye, to follow the pen with its eye, no? But more importantly, ang atong tanawon is whether or not naa ba kay nystagmus. Unsa man na siyang nystagmus? Nagkirig-kirig ba iyang mata while you're doing it? So kada palihok nimo sa mata on the different fields, nikirig ba ang mata? No? Nag-jerking movement ba ang mata? Nag-nystagmus ba ang pasyente? So if the patient is negative of nystagmus, no, while doing the 6 fields of cardinal gaze, then that is a good findings. Okay? So aside from cardinal gaze, you also assess the patient for perla. Moingon gani kag perla, dili na siya kutob sa pag-penlight raha because there are 3 things that you're actually assessing in perla. Number 1, you assess for equality in the size of the pupils. Are the pupils equally round? That's one, no? Sometimes your pupils are unequal. And how do you call an unequal pupil? You call it anisocoria. Sometimes ang imong pupil dilated. How do you document that? You call it mydriasis. And your pupils could also be small. Kung sa may tawag ana, miosis. So unequal is anisocoria, dilated is mydriasis with the letter D, miosis is the constriction of the pupils. Okay? So perla, first aspect is whether or not the pupils are equally round. Number 2, what else do you need to look into? You look into the ability of the pupils to react to your light. Okay? So tanawo nimo imong pupils kung mo react into light. Okay. You turn your pen lights on. Okay? And then from the side going inward up to the nose. Okay? Then on the other side from the outside inward up to the nose. Unsa may atong gitan-aw? Kung ang pupil nimo ni gamay ba siya inig-agi sa suga. Okay? So inig-agi sa suga, mo gamay ang imuhang pupil. Moana ang imong pupil. Meaning to say, the pupil is reactive to light. Okay? And the third component of perla is your ability to accommodate. Meaning to say, you don't need to turn your lights on in the test for accommodation because this is not a test of light, but the ability of the pupils to accommodate such that when the thing comes near, mugamay. And when the thing comes away, mudako. So ana siya, no? Mao ni imong pupil. So inigduol nimo gamay, dako, gamay, dako. So naa siya ability class mo accommodate. Okay? So now you see that oculomotor, trochlear, and abducens are assessed for their motor abilities. And there are 2 tests. 1, cardinal gaze. 2, perla. Sa cardinal gaze, there are 6 fields and you need to test whether naabay nystagmus. Ang sa perla is naakay 3 ka areas. Number 1, pupil must be equally round. Number 2, reactive to light. Number 3, accommodation. Okay? So that's for cranial nerve number 3, 4, and 6. Let's go to trigeminal. If you look at the functions of trigeminal, you have 2 functions. motor, and you also have sensory. For the motor aspect of the trigeminal, you simply have to let the patient do some mastication movements. Ma'am, can you chew for me? So since the patient can chew, the trigeminal nerve is intact. Okay? Simply, you just let him chew. Ability to masticate. Sensory. This is what makes it trigeminal, because there are three aspects in the face that you need to assess. Okay? You have your frontal, your maxillary, and your mandibular. Mo nang tulo. So how do you assess that? Ma'am, can you close your eyes? Ayun. Unya, you will use a blunt point of your pen, for example. Then you say, Ma'am, na ako ibutang sa imong naong, ma'am ha. Please let me know on which part of the face is being touched. Okay, this one. Or you can use a cotton. Cotton, unya imong lukuton ang tumoy, no? So mutalinis ang tumoy, pwede to nimo siya gamiton, ipahid-pahid sa naong. And then you ask the patient, can you feel it? Okay? So ana, ma'am, piyong gud imong mata, ma'am. Unya, ana, ingna ko asa dapita ha. Oh, ana dayon. Arikas agtang. Forehead, okay, good. Kani, ma'am. Cheeks, very good. Kani, ma'am. Sa ni ma'am. Chin. Oh, since the patient can identify the three aspects, the trigeminal aspects, then the sensory function of the trigeminal nerve is intact. To summarize, since trigeminal is both sensory and motor, you assess motor by letting the patient chew or do some mastication movements. As to the sensory, you assess the patient's sensory function by simply asking the patient to tell you which part of the face is being whisked by the cotton. Okay? Now, we go to cranial nerve number 7. Cranial nerve number 7 is facial. So facial is B, both. Okay? So both meaning sensory and motor pod ang imuhang facial. Now, a good thing here is that, facial. So sa facial na kay two functions, motor and sensory. So how do you assess the motor aspect of the face? You simply ask the patient to do some facial expressions. Ma'am, can you smile for me? Smile. Can you frown? Frown. Oh. Can you puff your cheeks? Mo puff. Oh, very good. So intact ang imuhang facial nerve. Motor. Okay? How about the sensory? How do you assess the sensory function of the face? You assess whether the patient can have the ability to determine sweet. Okay? Kung kaila ba siya og tamis. Okay? Nganong makailam, nganong ang katamison may atong gitanaw? Because the facial nerve innervates the anterior portion of the tongue. Okay? For purposes of taste, you divide your tongue into atubangan ug luyo. Ang atubangan is for the sweet. Ang luyo is for the bitter. Insofar as the facial nerve is concerned, para ra na siya sa anterior portion of the tongue. And being anterior, we test whether the patient can determine sweet. Okay? Kay kaniman ang tumoy sa dila, mao'y maka-feel sa sweetness of things. So, kung kaon kag ice cream, you use the tip of your tongue. Okay? So there, you have your facial. So to summarize, ang facial is motor and sensory. Motor is the ability of the patient to do some facial expressions. Sensory is the ability of the patient to discriminate the taste of sweet, no? Because it innervates the anterior portion of the tongue. Cranial nerve number 8, your acoustic nerve. So acoustic nerve is S, meaning sensory. So what sense are we concerned about? Acoustic is for the sense of hearing. Okay. Your acoustic nerve is also called your vestibulocochlear. There are two branches, and these two branches have different functions. Your vestibule is responsible for balance, while your cochlear is responsible for hearing. Okay? So you simply stand behind the patient and you whisper some words. You say, skies are blue. Can you repeat that, ma'am? Skies are blue. Oh, yeah. Hunghong na po ka speaker. Sa luyo ka ha? Di ka makita. Kanang di makita, imong baba paglitok. Ari ka sa luyo. So sa pikas ka, roses are red. Yeah, mo repeat na po siya. Roses are red. So if the patient can repeat that, meaning to say your acoustic nerve is intact. Next, cranial nerve number 9. Cranial nerve number 9 is glossopharyngeal. and your glossopharyngeal is assessed all together with your vagus. Okay? So glosso and vagus are assessed all together because they have the same functions. In fact, they are both sensory and they are also motor. Okay, let's try to assess. How do you assess the sensory aspect of the vagus? Sensory. This is now the sense of taste. But as to the posterior portion, ang iyang gi-innervate, so it is responsible for the bitter taste in food. Okay? So kung di ka katumar og tambal kay pait, ang gibuhat ni mama is ibutang sa luyo sa dila, sayop. Nga naman, musamot nagkapait. Because the posterior aspect of the tongue is responsible for bitter taste. Okay? So, kinsa may responsible, ana? It's your glossopharyngeal nerve and your vagus nerve. How about the motor aspect of the glossopharyngeal and vagus? It is responsible for swallowing and responsible for gag reflex. Now, speaking about gag reflex, what is the effect of gag reflex stimulation? Your gag reflex stimulation class can activate your parasympathetic nervous system. So if to ask, if gag reflex activates the parasympathetic nervous system, what would be its effect to your vital signs? Your BP, for example, unsa may iyahang epekto? Since parasympathetic man ang imong BP kay mo, ubos. So you will have hypotension and you will have bradycardia, and as well as all other vital signs turns low because of the parasympathetic nervous stimulation. How about your accessory nerve? Unsa man na siya? In assessing your accessory, letter M, motor siya. So since motor siya, you need to test for the ability of a person to move. But since there are two muscles innervated by the accessory nerves, there are two tests you need to do. Number one, you have your trapezius. And number two, you have your sternocleidomastoid muscles. For trapezius muscles, we test the patient for shoulder shrug. Meaning, you stand behind the patient or even in front of the patient and you apply some pressure over the shoulders and you ask the patient to lift his shoulders against resistance. So ma'am, palihog kog alsa sa imuhang shoulder. Alsa niya. Meaning to say that the accessory nerve is intact. Sternocleidomastoid. You simply have to position your hand this way and you let your patient turn to the left or to the right. Ma'am, can you look to the left? Okay? Can you look to the right? Kana. So kung makamove gani siya against resistance, the sternocleidomastoid is intact. No? So accessory nerve innervates two different kinds of muscles, trapezius and sternocleidomastoid. And what is so special about these two muscles? Because these two muscles are your accessory muscles of respiration. Okay? Last, we go to hypoglossal. Your hypoglossal is responsible for motor. Okay, so how do you assess motor hypoglossal? You simply have to ask the patient to protrude his tongue. Ma'am, palihog ko pagawas sa dila. Oh, there. Yeah, to the left, to the right, up, down, good. So if the patient can move his tongue to different directions, then hypoglossal nerve is intact. Okay, so class, these are your different cranial nerves. Now, let's proceed to the spinal nerves. Okay, as said, the spinal nerves are comprised of cervical, thoracic, lumbar, sacral, coccygeal. You have your breakfast alas 8, paniudto alas 12, panihapon alas 5. So 8, 12, 5. Sacral, letter S, 5, coccygeal, 1. Okay? So nakaila ba ka taaning C1, C2, C3, C4, C5, L1, L2, S1, S2, C1, coccygeal 1, kaila ba ka taani? Kay murag duda nako tingay C2 ray atong nailhan ani, no? It's important class because you might have heard of doctors say, uy, na-disgrasya si Mario, no, nabangga ang motor, unya ang na-damage kay ang L4 o unsa may pasabot ana. Meaning at the fourth lumbar nerve dito na igo. Okay? So we would be able to determine the symptoms of the patient on the basis of unsa nga nerve ang naigo. And to tell you, the higher the nerve involvement, the more the damage is involved. For example, pagka-disgrasya ni Mario, naigo ang cervical nerve, unsa may pasabot. So pasabot anang cervical nerve gikan sa liog paubos, damage. Gikan sa liog paubos guba. Di kalihok ang kamot, di kalihok ang tiil. Malibang lang og iyaha, mangihi nga walay control, walay umoy ang iyahang mga tiil. So what would you notice kung naa kay motor vehicular accident? Unsa may ginabuhat anang mga emergency responders? Kabantay mo ang ilang i-secure is ang liog. They apply their collar. Ngano man class? Because cervical collar. Nganong is importante man ang liog? Because the more or the higher ang involved, the more ang the higher the nerve na na-damage, the more organs are involved. So kung gikan sa liog ang na-damage, tibuok liog padung ubos apil imong baga maguba. And that is fatal. Okay? So, let's memorize this class. If C1 to C4 ang maigo, from the liog paubos, paralyze. If ang C6 ang maigo, then your shoulders paubos, paralyze. If ang C8 maigo, then your arms paubos, paralyzed. So how do you memorize that? 4, 6, 8. Again, 4, 6, 8. Liog, shoulder, kamot. Liog, shoulder, kamot. 4, 6, 8. Liog, shoulder, kamot. O, let's add. T1 to T6. Kung T1 to T6, that's chest. From the chest, paubos. T7 to T12, unsay maigo? Abdomen. O, sayon rana. 4, liog, 6, shoulder, 8, kamot, T1 to T6, chest, T7 to T12, abdomen. Okay, so liog, shoulder, kamot, chest, abdomen. What if lumbar ang maigo? L, lumbar, unsay may muhinay? L, unsay muhinay? Unsay mo ya? L, loso, dili, your legs. Ang loso is S4 to S5. Okay, di na muutog, basta S4 to S5 ang S4 to S5 ang maigo. So, dili na muutog. Okay? S1 to S3, ang responsive, ang maigo, ana, is your GIT and your GUT. So, incontinence, malibang lang ka din ha, makaihi lang ka din ha, nga walay control. Okay? So, kung nana mo sa area, or makadungog mo, uy, si Mario nabangga, naigo T5. T5, o tanawa, asa may maparalyze? T5 may naigo. T5, from the chest, paubos. So chest, tiyan, tiil, luso, incontinence, manggawas tanan, no? Ang makita ni mo class, ang pinakagrabe kung ang C1 to C4 ang maigo because apil ang imuhang baga na paralyzed. That is really fatal. Okay? Now, what are the things we need to remember in case of emergency? Number 1 rule class, we should immobilize the patient. Dili ta magtuga-tuga og tabang anang nay na disgrasya baron dinha sa kalsada because matarog na nimo gamay ang iyahang liog, maigo ang iyahang nerve, basin ni samot pa ang problema, no? Basin makasala pa hinuon ka anang pasyentiha. The best thing to do is to immobilize the patient. Okay? To immobilize the patient, and you should never manipulate or move the patient while there is lack of personnel. Di sa gyud na nimo siya hilabtan. Okay? And number 2, importante na tong timanaan class, is to assess the patient for possible autonomic dysreflexia. Autonomic dysreflexia occurs when the damage to the cranial nerve ang involved is T6 pataas. Meaning T6, T5, T4, T3, T2, T1, C8, C7, C6, C5, and so on. Basta T6 pataas ang maigo, that could lead to autonomic dysreflexia. And autonomic dysreflexia, no, aside from being caused by a spinal injury, could also be caused by bladder fullness. So one of the complication class kung nag-catheter imong pasyente o niya, na-kink na ang iyahang catheter, ang complication is autonomic dysreflexia. And what are the symptoms of autonomic dysreflexia? It must be your severe pounding headache. Okay? Grabe kasakit sa imuhang ulo. You have piloerection. Unsa man ang piloerection? Goosebumps. Your skin hairs na maruglang kalit. Profuse sweating. Grabe nga pagpaningot. And worst, your hypertensive crisis. Okay? So when a patient undergoes a state of hypertensive crisis, please remember there are 2 medications that we can give. Number 1, hydralazine. Number 2, your sodium nitroprusside. So that ends our discussion on the anatomy, both for the brain and of the spinal cord, including spinal